Welcome to the Explainer. You know that feeling when spring just hits? One day it's winter, and the next, bam, the world is in bloom. Today, we're diving into this incredible essay that unpacks how a single flower can set off a chain reaction that literally shapes our emotions, our memories, and our whole outlook on life. The author kicks things off with this line, and wow, it just hits you, right? It perfectly captures that overwhelming feeling when cherry blossoms are suddenly everywhere. It's this beautiful, intense spectacle. It's a dream, for sure, but there's a kind of cruelty to it, a sharp reminder of just how fast all this beauty is going to disappear. And that really gets you thinking, which brings us to the core question here. How can something so fragile, so temporary, connect to the deepest parts of who we are? What is the secret link between a flower petal and our feelings, our memories, and even the choices we make? All right, so here's how we're going to break this down. We'll start with that overwhelming rush of spring and unpack the whole psychological chain reaction it causes. Then, we're going to look at a fascinating case study in Japan, explore a nation's dual identity, and wrap up with how all of this can completely change the way we see the world. First up, let's really dig into that universal experience when winter finally gives up. The author's point is, this isn't just about the weather getting nicer. No, it's this huge emotional event, like a tidal wave that just pulls everybody along with it. It starts kind of slow, right? You see the first plum blossoms, a few magnolias. Then the hillsides just explode with yellow forsythia, and azaleas join the party. But that's all just the warm-up act for the main event, the absolutely breathtaking bloom of the cherry blossoms. It's this massive crescendo of color that forces you to stop what you're doing and just look. Okay, so how does something as simple as looking at a flower end up becoming a part of our personality? Well, the essay lays out this super clear four-step process that shows how a passing feeling can become a deep-seated attitude.
So check this out. It's like a set of dominoes. It all starts with an emotion. That little burst of joy you get when you see the first bloom. Boom, first domino. That feeling gets locked in your brain as a memory. Second domino. Now you experience this year after year, and all those memories start to shape your overall mood every spring. Third domino. And finally, that consistent mood hardens into an attitude, a way you see the world, a piece of who you are. A flower literally becomes your philosophy.
Now, if that's what happens to us as individuals, what happens when you scale it up to an entire culture? The essay uses Japan as this absolutely fascinating case study, showing how flowers can come to symbolize a nation's entire complex identity. Picture this. It's 1944. The US government is in the middle of a war and desperately needs to understand its enemy, Japan. So they go to this anthropologist, Ruth Benedict, and ask her to explain the culture. The catch? She can't go there. And yet, without ever setting foot in the country, she writes this absolutely mind-blowing book called The Chrysanthemum and the Sword, which just brilliantly decodes the Japanese mindset. And get this, she found this deep duality, this sort of split personality right in their national flowers. On the one hand, you've got the chrysanthemum. It's the formal, official symbol of the emperor, of the state. And on the other, you have the cherry blossom, the unofficial but deeply, deeply loved flower of the people, woven into their art, their stories, their collective soul. So these two flowers, they aren't just flowers, they're a clue. They point to this deep-seated cultural code in Japan. Two concepts that are absolutely essential to understanding how people interact: the face you show the world and the heart you keep for yourself. Benedict's analysis really zooms in on these two ideas. You've got Hane, which is your true self, your real thoughts, your gut feelings, your secret desires. But then there's Tatame. That's the public face, the mask you wear to keep things running smoothly and meet society's expectations. And what's so fascinating is how clearly this lays out that fundamental split. Hane is private, it's genuine, and it's almost always hidden. Tatame is public, it's a performance, and it's socially necessary. You see, it's the difference between the chrysanthemum, that formal, powerful symbol, and the cherry blossom, the personal, emotional symbol of the people's heart. Okay, so we've gone from personal feelings to national culture. Now, the essay brings it all back home, back to us. It uses a single, famous cherry tree to get us to think about our own position in life and how it shapes everything we see. The author talks about a friend's trip to see the legendary Yoshino cherry blossoms. But this isn't just some travel story. No, this reflection on incredible beauty gets tied into something much darker, much more complex about Japanese history and philosophy. Yeah, this is a heavy one. Ilchamhwawajui, or single-point luxuryism. Think of it as an all-or-nothing mindset. It's the idea of pouring all of your energy, all your resources into one spectacular, glorious, decisive moment. The author connects this to the strategy of Imperial Japan, a mentality that's a lot like the cherry blossom itself, a brilliant, breathtaking explosion followed by a sudden fall. And this whole idea leads to this really profound observation about life. Just like you can look at a cherry tree from different spots, people in society are always in one of three positions. Are you looking up, aspiring to be something more? Are you looking across, at your peers and equals? Or are you looking down from a position of power you've already reached? Where you stand fundamentally changes what you see. And here is where it all comes together so beautifully, bringing us full circle. The essay takes these huge ideas about culture, history, perspective, and connects them all back to one quiet, personal, and deeply human moment of reflection. The author starts thinking about their own understanding of things. You see, they've never actually seen the Yoshino blossoms in person, only through the story and the feelings of their friend. And they start to wonder, wait a minute, is this kind of like what Ruth Benedict did, understanding Japan so deeply from thousands of miles away? Can you really truly know something without ever experiencing it yourself? And so this essay doesn't end with a neat answer all wrapped up in a bow. Instead, it leaves us right here with this quiet, beautiful question. As the petals fall, signaling the end of that cruel, dreamlike season, the author poses a question not to us, but to the blossoms themselves, leaving us to wonder, what is that one thing they want to ask? And what could the answer carried on the wind possibly be?